Have you ever been to a preschool or kindergarten choir concert? It's not always a pretty place. It's not always a pretty sound. Sometimes one voice is just a half step behind the rest of the group, while another can be heard loud above all the rest, but it's definitely not singing the right key. There are children looking so beautiful in their concert best, and then there's that one child who's staring off into space while picking their nose. And don't forget the one who's crying their eyes out with snot running down their face, and they're just scared, sheer fright of just being on stage in front of the entire crowd. All the while, the poor teacher is losing hair by the minute, just praying for the night to end. Now contrast that experience with one of your favorite live musical performances. Perhaps it was your favorite band, or maybe it was an orchestral performance, each performer playing their notes in tandem with the musician next to them. Everyone was watching and listening to the conductor as they slowly build the piece to a crescendo, and the climax comes and everyone is so excited. There's chills coming down everyone's back. And then it ends with a resounding standing ovation. Now, if one of those violinists or trumpetists, they decided to stand up in the middle of the song and play whatever that they felt like playing, or the rhythm section chose to ignore the director and just start beating the drums at their own tempo, the power and the beauty of that performance would be lost. In Ephesians 5:21, we are encouraged to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. And at first glance, one could mistakenly think that this is some sort of arrogant statement telling people just to follow the rules and do what they're told. Instead, it's a call for us to see what God can do when we work under His guidance. If together we choose to listen to His voice and to one another's as He guides us to pull off a masterpiece. God's church, at its best, is a beautiful thing. People coming together, using their gifts to make something they would never be able to make alone. But that requires that we humble ourselves and we submit to one another. Philippians 2:3-4 says, "Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take interest in others too." It's when we choose to listen and work with each other that the church is truly at its best. Where you are playing your part in God's kingdom, how can you be using your gifts around the church to create something beautiful? Throughout your day, open your eyes to God's masterpiece around you and see how you can play the part.